We are about to send our signed copies over to the realtor to seal the deal.
Here we go. Feet are in the sand. Shot to you from a cell phone and a couple wireless mics. We thought we'd discuss, what are we doing?
We are selling our home, selling pretty much everything in it except for the things that we want to hang on to. But we're trying to keep the storage unit as small as possible. We committed to traveling for 2 years, but we just want to travel for the next few years before we ever, if we ever, decide to settle down again and purchase a home.
All right, so we are in the basement and we have gotten rid of a lot of stuff. All right, so right now I'm going to show that to you. Here on the patio, everything's gone. We got a couple lawn chairs right now. They're gonna have us enjoy the outdoor fireplace. They'll be able to enjoy Netflix. Come into here. We've actually sold this couch right here, and it's gone. But the people who bought it from us are gonna let us keep it for a little bit. As we head over to the gym, we're starting to sell some things. Pretty much everything's sold in here. It's just a matter of time before people pick it up. So we got a lot of stuff in here to sell. We got this rack back here, television, that's sold. That's not sold. That's sold. That's sold. This is sold. Pretty sure that's sold. Amy, what happens tomorrow?
No, we move again tomorrow.
Oh, what happens Sunday?
We scheduled massages because we knew all this was going to be brutal. So.
Has it been?
It actually hasn't.
Yeah.
This has. This has.
Well, that's the heavy shit. So it's about to get real right now. All right.
Drop it.
All right. Let's see what we can do here. We live just about 30 minutes south of Charlotte, North Carolina, called Waxhaw. Sounds pretty country. Waxhaw, W-A-X-H-A-W. We live in a very, very nice community, a great neighborhood. We got about 7 homes. We've got some great neighbors, most of them. We've got a big house. Right now, we've got just shy of 6,000 square feet, 3 stories. We just spent quite a bit of money finishing our basement, and it was during the process of finishing that basement we got like halfway into it and we were like, what are we doing?
Well, we lived in the basement only, so it was just... It
was even before we finished it.
Yeah.
We were like, but once we started, we had to finish it, and we looked at it more from a real estate investment perspective, because where we live in the Carolinas, there's no basement, so we knew we'd get the value out of it. But the original plan was to keep the house, keep the cars, keep everything inside of it, and go do these 3 2-month stints, these 2-month sprints where we would just go out and we would travel extensively and kind of live this homeless life, but always have the parachute of the home back in Waxhaw.
For me, I definitely am more on the budget side of things than Derek.
So I guess that's about 50 cents a rib, huh?
Yeah, about.
Let me get one.
Every time we travel, I try to skimp because we have so much overhead in our home, our power, our water, our cars, all the things. I thought to myself, we could really explore and let loose a little bit on the budget if we didn't have that overhead at home. Why not sell it, and why purchase now? Just be homeless for a few years.
We in Paris.
20 hours later.
Boom.
Explore, and then if and when we're ready to settle, we purchase again, and we purchase smaller and something with more of a view than what we had. We had a view of a pond. I love the water, but it needs to be more than a pond.
We're gonna do a toast. We just sold our house. Got ourselves a little Eagle Rare for those bourbon fans, and we're just gonna do work call. A little celebration shot, selling the house to go do this thing right here with this chick right here. I'm super excited about. So here we go. Here's to selling your home, all your possessions, and traveling the world full time. And we love our house. Don't get it wrong. We do. We enjoy it. We put a lot of memories into that house. We've had a lot of great gatherings in that house. The kids spent a lot of time in that house. But now it's just going to be us. And the kids scattered about the country. They're older. I do have a youngest daughter who lives full time with her mother about 4 hours away. So to see her, I need to go to her. And there's no reason for her to come back. Knowing how much it would be difficult for Amy to enjoy the experience, knowing that we still had the burden of a mortgage or car payments and the trash bill and who's mowing the lawn. And we started to realize, at least for me, that all these little things that we possess and that we hold on to suck a little bit of your energy away. And when you add them all up collectively, it makes a good argument for minimalism, which is something that we're going from an extreme, right? We're going from literally 3-story house to a carry-on and a backpack. We both committed to just packing. We've been actually practicing. We're here practicing now, sort of, just having this carry-on and this backpack. And so now you know what we're doing, right? So we've sold everything. We're literally selling everything, cars, couches. In fact, when we go home, we're there for another month back at our house at the time of shooting this. Our bed's going to be gone and all our furniture. So we're literally going to be sitting in these beach chairs basically in our living room for the last month while we own the home. And it's cool. Every time I see something leave the house, I think of the memories, of that possession, but then letting it go, it feels kind of good. What about you? I've always watched videos, heard of people talking about minimalism, and I never understood it. I was like, I don't get that. When I was younger, and I've always used the measuring stick of achieving wealth and succeeding in businesses and then buying stuff as like your show of like, okay, cool, I've achieved, I've done, I've checked the box, and it's probably ego, societal conditioning, a variety of different things. But then when Amy and I met and we started traveling and we went on our honeymoon, which was this 2-month, it's like 59-day around the world honeymoon. We totally circumvented the globe and we had nothing at that point. I was like, I don't miss any of this crap. The mind shift sort of happened for me and I started to realize like, hey, this stuff doesn't matter. And I'm excited for minimalism. I'm a little scared, because I've never done it. But the more we travel, the more I realize there's no attachment. I don't miss my car, right? No. I don't miss any of that stuff because it doesn't matter. You can always just buy it again. What about you?
No possessions. Family and friends, of course.
That's different.
But
yeah.
no possessions.
We'll get into that. We're all about personal growth, development. You can read all the books in the world. You can watch all the YouTube videos in the world. But it's through the act of doing and challenging yourself that the greatest realization of personal growth comes. So you got to go through it, basically. And I know everyone looks at the life that we're about to go embark on, and some people are like, nah, not for me, couldn't do that. We had some of that, but most people are like, oh my God, you're living our dream life. And we're like, totally, 100% a dream life, but it's going to come with some hardships, right? And it's how you handle that. How do you adapt to flipping with a fork versus a spatula? That's a small one. But a big one could be you show up to your Airbnb that you thought you had for a month and listen for it.
This project.
Trying to run a business from our Airbnb is going to be a bit of a challenge. So we're having our first Airbnb moment. First of all, Amy, if you can hear me over the banging, put us into Section 8 housing. So
First of all, you
it's
did not show.
It's Section 8 housing. Okay, it's nice in here. It's nice. See? Nice. See? But outside, we in the hood. The booking was wrong. Right. Or they sold it, or your flight was canceled, or they lost you had to check your bag and you have one bag of stuff and they lost it. There's things you can do to mitigate that and to get around that. And that's where the growth happens. It makes you more flexible and malleable. So when life does throw you a curveball and gives you some shit, and it will, that's where the growth happens. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Are you looking forward to that? I'm a little weird. I like that stuff.
I don't like a challenge like he does, but I don't foresee any major mishaps. And for me, it's going to be the accommodations, whether or not the bed was comfortable.
That could be fun.
Well, the air works.
What we got going on here is we got a air conditioning unit that does not work. We removed the mattress and it is now out here. So we're back to a studio. Got a fan, kitchen, family room. This is our bed. So there you go.
That's going to be where I find hardship. Or even as much as I think we enjoyed it sometimes, like being somewhere like in a smaller little town where no one speaks English, yet you're trying to like figure out how to get somewhere or buy something, or your card doesn't work. We were Egypt or Jordan, and we tried to stop and get something to eat, and they wouldn't accept our cards, and we didn't have their cash. So, little things like that. But it was part of the experience, and we figured it out and, drove down the road and ate somewhere else. And so
one of the reasons why I'm doing this and wanted to do this was because I knew it would get me outside of my box, outside of my comfort zone, and it would allow me to grow through and learn things like patience, grace, understanding, those things at a higher level, because you're out of your little bubble. It's night one of our honeymoon trip, and I thought we'd do something a little special tonight. Take Amy to a real nice restaurant. Denny's, baby. We're going to Denny's. Little moon's over my hammy. Sedentary lifestyle. Well, shoot, we have no car. We're going to be walking a lot. While we were here, we probably walking 10 miles a day just while we're here, because we did not rent a car, and that's intentional.
yeah, no Uber needed, right?
Nope, no Uber. Not with this chick. We did do an Uber today.
Oh, we did, and it would cost us a fortune. So.
Well, but we didn't want to walk 30 miles.
Yeah.
So just got us standing on this little postage stamp right here to walk across the street. Cars coming from this direction, that direction, that direction. Yeah. So. Jesus. Yeah. This is safe.
Making my hair like. There's like cars coming on both sides of us.
I'm literally gonna film our death.
Look. There's a car coming.
There's a car coming behind us. And a car coming this way. We gotta stand on there.
In other places, you kind of like in the U.S., you look like a bum. But all over Europe and places like that, it's so normal. So I enjoy that part.
In your routine of doing the same things, we have the tendency when we live in one place to do the same stuff, and then carve that out to fit our laziness, right? And to fit our. What are some of the other reasons why you wanted to do this? Like, what's the reason behind this big life change for us?
When we did our 2-month trip, that's when I felt the most alive. Like, even when you said the hard things, I enjoyed those. So I feel more alive when we're traveling. I feel more connected, like, even, like, personally and with you. And even, like, when we travel with family or friends, that's when I feel the most connected to people. When I'm at home, sometimes I don't even want to leave the house. I don't know what it is. Like, you just kind of like get in this rut to where you don't want to do anything. But when and I get we're going to be in these destinations for like month-long stints, so it's not going to be like something new every single day. But even when we were in Cabo for the month, I enjoyed getting out and walking every single day, trying something new to eat, meeting new people. So I don't know. I just enjoy traveling more than, sitting in my home.
I agree with you. Like, we get in these routines. We do at home, right? I get up, open the laptop. It's work all day, grind. Work out, eat, get up and repeat. And we're not spending quality time with each other. We're not experiencing new things together other than whatever we decide and argued over to watch on Netflix. It's just not, with the occasional like few weeks of vacation that you get here and there, like, what are we doing? Like, so like, to me, the experience side of it, every day is going to be an adventure. And that adventure could be seeing a cool new thing. So we found this, oh shit. Yeah, so we found this cave and I almost died. go somewhere else. Or it could be navigating, like you said earlier, a grocery store in Mexico.
We're in the grocery store, and we don't know what anything is. I have no idea what any of this stuff is. It's completely a different language, and it's going to be interesting.
You can look at that as aggravation and frustration and all that stuff, and that's just your mentality and mindset. But this is where that shift is, or I was talking about in the previous point. Or you can look at that as an experience. This is part of the experience, right? Having a late flight or cancel flight, and we have to sleep on the floor of the airport, part of the experience. Sure, be pissed about it for a minute, or reframe it and be like, part of the experience. This will one day be a story. What else for you?
We're going to Portugal, as I don't know if everyone knows, but that's going to be our first stop. And we literally looked at flights there, and our Uber here in Destin cost us almost like $60 to go. What was it, 25 miles?
No, actually I was wrong. It's 11 miles to go. It was 60 on the low end. That was like the broken ass Uber, right, where the hubcaps are falling off, where you might have to sit and share the ride with somebody. It was $60 one way to go 11 miles, and I'm like, man, let's just ride our bike. I was like, it's not about the money. It's just about the idea and the concept.
Yeah. So, I looked at flights when we're in Lisbon or wherever, like when we're over in Portugal. I can fly to Paris for the weekend for like $38.
All right, Amy. Hey, you saw it. Check it off your list.
Check.
Cheaper than the Uber ride here, from a restaurant to our place here in Destin.
Yeah.
And so just being able to explore on a whim and it not cost you an arm and a leg is going to be, I don't know, freeing for me.
I'm the king of the world!
We've got some friends that are going to be over in Germany when we're in Portugal, and they were like, hey, we'll meet you guys over there. Like a amazing couple who's always willing to go and explore and do things. And I'm like, you know what?
Shout out to Scott and Lindsay.
Yes, Scott and Lindsay.
Oh yeah, it's like a Sodom. Look at that.
What do you do with these?
I don't know.
We are going to bop over to Germany and see them. If I was somewhere else, it wouldn't be feasible, right? To pop over for 6-7 days to see them in Germany. But the flight's going to be I don't know. I think I looked at it as less than $40.
And I think so. So economics is one of Amy's big reasons.
It is huge for me.
I'm talking about this.
I think you'll see a lot of her content is going to be wrapped around budget. Listen.
I just enjoy saving money. I do.
She does.
So
it's a sport
whatever.
to her, actually.
It is.
The saving money. If it could be a professional sport, Amy would be an all-star. We want our kids to experience this, and we've traveled a lot with our kids. I mean, all our kids really enjoy traveling. We've taken them to Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, tons of Caribbean islands, Greece, Italy. Tons of all-inclusives. We've been blessed to be able to have those experiences with them, and we want more of those. Some of the best stories that we have are hey, when you were here, remember this happened, or I remember, I don't know why it's popping in my head. This is an example. One of my daughters, I forget who the first one to do it. It was Taylor or Alexa, walked into a glass pane door on a cruise ship. And the other daughter, let's say Alexa hit the door first, then Taylor was ripping on her, making fun of her, and then not literally I don't know, a few minutes later, she did it. So we were walking with trays of food. And that's a memory you remember and you'll recall. And that's better than any iPad, pair of Jordans that you can get for somebody on Christmas. So we've always made the travel experiences. And shit, I'd rather buy the iPad. I mean, financially, I'd rather buy the iPad or the Jordans.
Oh, yeah.
The $300 Jordans, which is ridiculous, are better than the $25,000 trip to Greece and Europe. But it's not about money; it's about value and experiences. Because one day we're all going to die. No one gets out of this alive. And I guess you come to that realization as you get older, and you start to look at. If you were to take your life in a number of years and measure that in inches into a ribbon, our ribbon's cut in half, at least. Like if you knew the day you were going to die, you would completely adjust the way you live. You'd completely adjust the experience you go after, the relationships, and you would adjust your lifestyle to bring more joy, memories, and that type of stuff into it. You'd probably care less about stuff. So when I had that thought a few years ago, I was like, well, shit, the only difference is I don't know when I'm going to die. We don't. Could be tomorrow. Could be 50 years from now. But why should I live my life any differently? Any other reasons?
Actually, and I think I'm going to enjoy being able to move around. We love to travel. We're going to travel internationally. We're going to definitely be traveling back. Everybody thinks we're leaving the U.S. We're for the most part, we will be traveling a lot internationally, but we're also going to be coming back to the U.S. And now, whenever I come back to North Carolina, I'm going to stay closer to where my family and friends are versus like being out, in Waxhaw, to where it's hard for me to, it's a 3-hour round trip for me to go see my grandmother. So I can stay in those like spots that I want and get that more quality time with those friends and family. If we still had that home, it just made it so much harder for you to go. Your mom's moving to Pennsylvania. You have to drive to Pennsylvania or fly to Pennsylvania and pay for a place to stay, yet you still have your overhead of your home. And so it just, timing wise, it just made sense for us right now.
Will you miss anything in the home?
As stupid as it sounds, there's these cups that we like our tea in that keep your tea hot. It's like this ember mug. So we actually, even though we're only doing the carry-on in the backpack, we're contemplating whether or not we're going to actually make room in our suitcase for this cup.
Limited space.
But I don't know.
We'll explain what the cup does.
Well, it keeps if you haven't heard of the Ember mug, it literally sits on a charger. So it keeps your tea hot for 90 minutes or something like that. And it was so strange. Devin bought you one for Christmas. And I was like, what the heck is that? What did he buy?
Best gift I've ever gotten.
And I think we're thinking of bringing those. You were talking about the comfort of a home. So I guess that's really the only thing. I sleep great in other beds. And
yeah,
I don't know. That's probably it. That cup, and I can take that with me.
That's true. Yeah, we are bringing the cup. I guess it's like a plug for Ember, which is sent in this episode. Ember, if you'd like to sponsor us, that'd be amazing. So it's that routine of having that warm beverage. You want consistency and inconsistency in your life. Too much consistency creates boredom. Too much inconsistency creates chaos. So you want the healthy balance of excitement and new things and trying different stuff to bring that flair into your life, but you also want consistency. So, I think for us, it's going to be certain routines like your eating, your sleeping, your health, like your exercise and your fitness. We're going to be working with a coach, a plug to Judy Terrell, who's going to help us navigate that process of staying fit when maybe all we have is this sand to work out on. There's no access to a gym.
Speaking of budget friendly, the place that we were staying at, it was it $50 or $60 a day to rent a chair for the day? And we were here for 6 days. I was like, I'm not paying that. So we went to a store and we bought these cheap chairs. They are really cheap. Derek, why are you carrying beach chairs and an umbrella?
You won't let me rent them, so we bought them.
Yeah, but how much is it a day?
$70 a day.
I think it's 60, but anyway, $60 for the day, I think. And we just bought 2 chairs and an umbrella, and it was less than $80, and we will have them the entire week. So there you go.
And they might not hold us though.
Yes, they will. They actually hurt my butt. But anyway, cheap chairs, cheap umbrella, and we're going to pass it along. There's actually a family right in front of us. I think we're going to give it to them. But there's just so many ways to save money. And I enjoy that part.
Goes back to the budget.
Help me, I'm poor. No.
And that you just brought up one point that we forgot to mention, and thank you for that, is we want to put ourselves in a position where we can go to places and make an impact. And that's a big piece of, as you explore spirituality, as you really learn who you are as a human being and the tenets of the human condition, you start to realize that giving, even a small act of walking up to somebody, giving him 2 chairs and an umbrella, just the smile that puts on that person's face and our face, right? That little moment that you all share when you do something kind for somebody, whether it's opening a door or helping somebody push their car that's stalled on the street or giving people chairs and umbrella. You want to do that, but at a higher level in the areas that we go to. So that's going to be a big part of that. And what that looks like, we're not sure in those locations, but what it looks like from this perspective is creating content for those of you who are listening to show our lifestyle, to show our experiences, It was through content of other people that we watched that inspired us to do this.
I need a chiropractor after this, guys. I'm sweating.
Us owning a marketing firm, we have certainly access and the ability to create content. Amy's not thrilled about putting herself out there, but we're going to go through that discomfort to be able to provide people with access to information to maybe impact their lives in a way that would change it forever, as others have done for us. And that is a way of giving back. That's a way of putting it forward, is putting that out there. All right. Well,
It has been one hell of a day.
it has. So everything's gone pretty smoothly until it didn't. We realized that I didn't really contract very closely, and we're supposed to leave the refrigerators. So that was a $3,500 mistake. We'll have to bring $3,500 cash to the closing tomorrow, which is in less than 12 hours. Well, hopefully it's in our safe. We'll see. If not, it's gonna be, I don't know. We'll have to have a bake sale in the morning. This is what happens when
You're in a rush and emotions are running high, and
I wouldn't say my emotions were high.
I was furious.
I was just moving something, and this is what happens when a stereo receiver hits you in the face. It was the house gave us
A parting gift.
one last punch in the face, literally. So I'm hoping this doesn't need stitches. We'll see, but we're done. So
Peace out.
we're gonna go walk through the house one last time, like we walked through a hotel room, and then we're gonna go walk out the door and say goodbye to this place. We almost died. Like a big long thing is cutting around a hairpin. It was taking the mic off, and he just
I'm going to
back up.
blow the horn.
She's grabbing the steering wheel. Thankfully, she honks
my
the
God.
horn because he stopped.
This is Portugal, baby. You need to keep going. Oh, yeah. Just stop it.
We're just getting started.
Pray for us.
Pray for us.